Hi guys, I am here for the story time. Okay, I grew up in LA. You kind of become a little numb to celebrity culture once you live there for a while, and seeing celebrities just becomes part of like everyday life. One day I was out to lunch with my mom, my sister, and my aunt for my aunt's birthday. And we always go to hotels for birthdays. We still do. My aunt was like, let's go to the W Hotel and sit out by the pool, just have like a relaxed, nice lunch. We show up for lunch and we're sitting there, we're mid-conversation, and we're from Atlanta. So my mom and aunt have like a very thick, charming, sweet Southern accent. I don't have it since I moved to LA when I was 8, and my sister kind of doesn't have it, but theirs is strong and thick. So we're mid-conversation and a group of British guys next to us turn around and they're like, excuse me, where are you from? And my aunt is a pretty big personality and she's like, honey, I'm from Atlanta. Where the fuck are you from? So that broke the ice. Everybody started laughing and I had recognized them because I'd seen them on TV and I was in the music industry for a while, so I knew who they were. This was one of their first times in LA. They asked me what I was doing that day, like, where do you go? What's like fun to do around here? So I was like naming like, oh, have you gone to In-N-Out Burger? Have you gone to Millions Milkshakes? That place was so good. If you remember, you know. I was like, do you guys want to come along? And so some of them did. And we kind of just developed a friendship. A few days later, they told me that they were going to be doing a show in Atlanta and if I was going to be there. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, we actually are visiting family. It's my nephew's birthday. So they're like, well, come to the show. I ended up going to the show. My family did too. And it was really fun. It was in Duluth, which is where I was born. The show was great. I was like talking to Josh from like the stage. It was cool. And then like Harry was like being silly and like waving and doing funny things to us during the show. A few weeks later, I went back to LA and they were bouncing back and forth to LA a lot during that time. I think they were filming like a Super Bowl commercial. We just like stayed connected through texting. I was shopping on Melrose one day with some of them and Harry showed up. That was the day that he actually bought the Rolling Stones tee that he wore for like years and years and years. It was like the American flag Rolling Stones. It was like pink and blue. It was really cool. We got it at the t-shirt store. So after shopping for a few hours, I was ready to go home and we started walking down a side street where my car was parked and I was like, all right, I'm gonna head out. And he's like, oh my God, is that your car? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can I drive it, please? And I was like 17 and I was like, didn't want anybody driving my car because it was like new, nervous having people driving it. And he was like, please, I'm like a really good driver. I'll be careful. And like, I never really get to drive. It'd be so fun. And I was like, okay, sure. So we get in the car and we start driving and he's like, where are we going? I'm like, well, let's just go to my house. So he's like, okay, cool. So all of us are in the car and we drive up to my house and we have dinner and my mom was there and my mom's boyfriend at the time made all of us dinner. I think we had like shrimp tacos, which is funny because I'm deathly allergic to shrimp now. And we just hung out for a while and it was really, really sweet and just normal and fun. Harry kept mentioning throughout the night, like, I want to get a tattoo. And towards the end of the night, I'm like, well, what do you want to get? And he was telling me some ideas. And I was like, oh, I've always wanted a tattoo. When Harry's about to leave, he looks at me and he's like, come with me. And I said, I can't go with you to get a tattoo. And so then my mom hears and she's like, Savannah is not getting a tattoo. I was like, I'm not gonna get one, Mom. And he's like, don't worry, like she's not gonna get one. I won't let her get one, but just come with me. So I said, okay. So we get in the car and we go down the hill. He was getting it at Shamrock, which was not far from my house at all. And the second we stepped foot inside, he turned to me and said, what are you gonna get? And I was like, I can't get a freaking tattoo. My mom would literally kill me. And he's like, hold on. So he calls her and he's like pacing on the side, like talking to her for like 5 minutes. And I could just hear like bits and pieces. And then he comes back with a huge smile on his face and he's like, you're good, you can get one. Then he's like, hold on. He goes and grabs a big piece of paper and a pen and he's just like drawing something for like 5-10 minutes. And he's like thinking and sketching and then like crossing stuff out that he didn't like. And then he walks up to me with a piece of paper. He's like, get this. And I looked at it and it was a heart. I was like, this is so cute. And you like it? I'm like, I love it. And I'm like, but it's too big. I need it smaller. He's like, okay, we'll make it smaller. And I was like, should I get it on my ankle? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I kind of like that spot. And he's like, cool, go for it. So I sat down to get the tattoo. I was nervous, which I think he could pick up on a little bit, because he was like, do you need water? Do you need a Diet Coke? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just like really excited. So I got it done, and it didn't hurt because I think my adrenaline was pumping so hard. What is going on right now? Yeah, so then a few weeks later, they ended up inviting me to London. So I went there for a time, and I actually ended up meeting my best friend to this day, Ashton, through them, which I am so thankful for. Over the years, their career obviously exploded, and we all stayed in contact, and I was really close with Josh, the drummer, and then Dan, the guitar player, ended up being my guitar teacher for some time. And everybody was just so kind, from their crew, from their family, everybody. Went to a bunch of shows. I actually went to their last show at MetLife Stadium, and we went backstage. We were in their dressing room, and my mom Harry like ran over and got to hug my mom. And it was just like a really sweet, like, family feeling. Like, it was really wholesome, and it was just really nice. People ask if we're still in touch, and no, I haven't been in touch with Harry for a very long time. But I know if I run into him on the street, he would give me a hug. It'd be like no time had passed, and he'd say, how is your mom? I still do keep in contact with some of the crew and the band members, and it was just a really special time in my life. And it's like friends just drift apart. It's like in high school, like you're with a group of people for a period of time, and then you go separate ways. And I don't know, I'm thankful for like that time in my life, and we all have very different lives now. It was a very strange, surreal, and sweet chapter of my life that I am very grateful for.